Welcome to PaRANTing.
Hi, everybody.
It's a podcast about kids.
This is not going to matter in your
That
life.
kids shouldn't listen. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome back to the PaRANTing Podcast, or welcome to the PaRANTing Podcast, episode 38. Somehow, still, it shocks me every week that we do this. I'm like, oh, look, we're doing another one. Go us.
You always look so surprised when you say the number. You're always, it's episode, holy crap, 38. Like every time, you just look so shocked.
And it's like counting's just hard for me, so maybe that's why. Anyway, welcome back, or welcome to the podcast. I am Katie G, here in the Tantala, Nova Scotia. I am here with my lovely cousin and also co-host, the Mark Adam, over in the winter peg, but not so winter anymore because it is like stunningly beautiful there and here today.
Today's the coldest day we've had. Well, no, we did have one rainy 10-degree day, but it's been like 18 degrees for like a week, and
That's
today
wild.
it's 17, and I'm like, 17? Really? We can't be 18 for that consistency?
You just couldn't be consistent? Wow, really? Good job, Mother Nature. Yeah, it's like 25 degrees here today. I went outside in a sweater and I almost died. I had to like come home and change. And I was like, do you want to record now? And I was like, yes, but I have to go change because I'm going to sweat to death.
Yeah, and I'm over here in my like lightest like sweater shirt thing.
Yeah.
Just long sleeve because ginger, but also hot outside. So I'm wearing like jean shorts, not cutoffs. I'll start, no, picture that. Nobody needs to picture that. But like legit, like knee length, regular jean shorts that you buy at the store.
Okay.
Somebody looked at me today and said, "You look really summery," and I was like, "I don't know you." So it was a interesting exchange.
Yeah, but you always like that. I find that happens more so when you wear any sort of, I don't know, team paraphernalia. Like I'm currently wearing a Toronto Maple Leafs t-shirt, but you'll get some sort of comment.
Valor.
Yeah, there you go. So like you'll get some sort of comment from people who are obviously like fans of the same team. They're like, hey, like the shirt. You're like, cool, don't know you, but right on.
Yeah, there's a pub in town called the King's Head Pub, and I'm wearing their hat. And everyone's when people see that, they usually yell out "King's Head," and that's it. That's all they. I'm like, yeah, I agree. That's
where it's from.
Yeah,
Good job.
they're not like, hey, I like the King's Head. It's always just King's Head.
Yep.
Like, yes, you have identified exactly what that logo is. Well done. Trivia goes to you.
Good job.
Yeah.
I'm always too afraid. I'm not one of those people that would like yell something that I'm way too, even though I'm very like outgoing and never shut the hell up, but like that's not something I do. Like I would never just be like, Leafs, and like point at somebody's shirt or something. That just seems, I don't know, weird. And most of the people are like in their 60s. So.
Well, yeah.
Just not for me.
How has your week been?
Super. It's super.
Not convincing at all.
It's actually not been that bad. It's it's the same old shit, really. But one fun thing that I did recently, which was on, what is today? Tuesday night, ZZ Top was here, and I went to go see that with my work people.
Fucking cool. How are those guys still alive mathematically?
Don't know, but they fucking rocked it out. It was so good. Cheap Trick opened for them.
My dad was born in 1960. Mm-hmm. And ZZ Top was one of his favorite bands growing up.
Yeah. Yeah, there was one of the songs that they played that I knew, and we looked it up just for fun, and it was released in like 79. And for reference, I was born in 87. So
I was born in 83. I'm the oldest on our side of cousins and stuff.
Yeah.
So
you were the first, and then they just kind of made it better as that went on, right?
I think they broke the mold. That's why the rest of you were girls, because they couldn't do this again.
Oh, right. Yes.
Hey, we can't match that. Girls until we get it right.
Girls from now on.
Yeah. So by that logic, that makes Jacqueline the one that got it right, but it is what it is.
Yeah, well. It is what it is.
They're like, Katie. They were like, by the time they got to Katie, they were like, close. Not quite.
Almost.
We can do
there.
better. We can do better.
We can do that. That's okay. I'll take that. Anyway, yeah, so that was fun. That was literally was surprised how it's just like how little the production was. Like those guys, they had some amps set up and they had their drummer in the middle and then singer.
Where
bass,
was it?
At the Scotiabank Center, which we used to be called the Metro Center.
Yeah.
I still call it that.
That's a big ass venue for them to have such a small setup.
Yeah, well, it was just like it was genius, kind of, because they had like these cool light up microphone stands, and they were fucking rocking out. But they were like, they would come together, like the bass and the lead singer and guitarist would come together, like they would be singing, and then like when they were kind of rocking out, they would kind of scooch together in the middle, and then they would do like these coordinated things. But it was very like subtle because you're like, don't break a hip, I think, kind of what it was.
Yeah.
So it was these like really.
They've been around the block a couple times.
Yeah, for sure. But they were so funny and entertaining, like even like talking to the crowd a little bit too, hysterical, like still rocked out. It was such a good time. So that was like the highlight of the week so far. It is only, we're recording this on Thursday, so
I'm literally googling right now, how old are the members of ZZ Top. Billy Gibbons, 1949 he was born. Same with Joe Michael Hill. No, that is, Dusty Hill. There you go. Frank Beard. Jesus. Like, that's awesome. Those guys have been around forever.
They were around.
So the Billy Gibbons was also like, I don't know if you ever watched the show Bones?
No, I've never watched that.
So he's on there as one of the characters' dads, and he's this like super scary dude, like supposed to be this big scary gangster guy that's like super mobbed up or whatever with biker gangs. I mean, anyway, it's pretty interesting. Every time he's on there, I'm just like, oh man, so good. But yeah, they're still freaking rocking to this day. It's insane.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, Dusty passed away. I think it was last year. I don't know. Like I said, time, it doesn't exist to me anymore. But it was.
So who played bass for them?
recent-ish.
Who plays bass for them?
I forget what his name is, but he was amazing. I'll look up his name, but like he was great. He came out. He still had he had a beard and a nice set of hair, kind of like all spiked up. He was like ready to rock out, and he did like a couple of like full on spins at one point, like rocking out and like spinning around. And I was just like, woo! Also like, yay, but oh, it's almost like that. Oh, please don't hurt yourself.
It sounds like you're watching this thing and it's literally like please don't break a hip, Grandpa. Like it just like you're watching your grandparents perform. Like they're 72 years old. Like that's
they've been doing this for 50 years. So like, who am I to say like, hey, like you know what you're doing? Like I'll shut up and just sit here and enjoy the fucking show. But that's just it, right? Like these guys are pros, and if they weren't able to do it, they just wouldn't do it. And they love doing what they're doing. Yeah. They're super, like people love seeing them. They're known around the world. Like they've seen and done everything. Yeah. And now they're just doing what they want. Like it's just there's no pressure on them to be anything. They are what they are. And exactly. They
can be unapologetic about it, like every other old person.
Exactly.
They can give zero fucks and off they go.
And that's exactly how they started and ended the show. They just walked on, no, like nothing fancy, just walked on and was just like, all right, let's go. And then when it was over, same thing. They just left and we're like, okay, are they done? Like it was it was great.
Did you bring the kids?
Fucking all right. See you later. That was fantastic.
Did you bring the kids, or was it just an adults event?
It was just adult. It was like through my work. So the company I work for, they have a box at the Scotiabank Center. So we were actually up there. So which was great. So it was more like work people, but Rod was able to come, which was great. He's like honorary member of our team. So.
And so, like you just mentioned, you keep calling it the Scotiabank Center, and you did mention it used to be called the Metro Center. Yeah, and that's my reflex is to call it the Metro Center because I left in 2014. Yeah, and I think they renamed it the next year.
I couldn't tell you when they renamed it. I still call it the Metro Center. So,
but yeah, I still call it the Metro Center because I wasn't there for it to be renamed, and so then I've been back. A handful of times to visit or whatever since 2014, and I have a hard when people say Scotiabank Center. It takes me a second because I'm thinking, oh crap, wait, where is that?
Yeah, I know. It's weird when you're like a local, right? You're just like, wait, if you're a local and you've been here for a while, it's like, obviously we just still call it Venture Center. But anyway, that was the highlight of my week so far. There's still a weekend to come. Saying that because we're recording Thursday, like I said. But how was your week? Let's just talk about you for a second. How was your week? You know what?
I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole because I was not in a good place over the last week. I
know. And you don't have to go into detail. I just mean, like, how are you? You had a rough couple.
I have recovered. Mm-hmm. The kids are good. So like that for me is the biggest thing. To them, it was just, we just did different stuff. I don't want to go into it too deep, but the point is, I'm okay. The kids are thriving, mm-hmm. and my partner Katie, she didn't leave me, and we got through it together, and I had a bit of a week. Everybody, and,
adult shit happen. It's like I was talking, like Adam and I were texting, and we were talking about it, and I was like, listen, I've all been there, literally, like almost a similar situation, like what happened to you. Like, we don't have to get into any of that, but like there are just things in life where you're like. Adulting can be hard, and especially with like through the pandemic and stuff, there are things like bills that you let go or like aren't as important, and then at some point you're like, oh fuck, I have to pay that at some point. Yeah. And then sometimes it can pile up on you.
Sometimes it's a wake up call because you're like, oh shit, right? Like because you put it off so much that you literally forget. And I have ADHD, so if it's not top of mind, it may as well not exist.
Yeah, right.
And so It was a completely avoidable situation that I caused. It was my fault, just for the record. I don't want to put any blame on anyone else. I don't want anybody thinking, like what happened it wasn't between me and my partner or something like that.
No.
But I fucked up big. It affected my whole family, and we recovered as a unit. And that to me was one of the things that like sort of kept me from going too far down the darkness rabbit hole. And so anyway, moral of the story. So my kids really kept me grounded, and my partner is the best.
Yep, that's why you put a ring on it.
It's honest to God. And it's funny because at one point I even said, like, this is why I decided to marry you. And she was like, you haven't married me yet. And anyway, so there's like that veiled threat there.
Yeah.
And not so veiled, but
That's
so
funny.
Made it through the week, and here we are. The kids are having a good time. And speaking of which, we're recording this a little early today. In about a half an hour, my oldest will be home from school. And she will probably, because she doesn't know I'm down here, she will probably be opening the door and, saying hi and all that stuff. And I'll have to say hello. Yeah. I'm warning you now. I'm not pausing or editing it out. It's part of the show now. I've given you a warning in about 30, I'm going to guess 33 minutes. Start a timer. Let's see. I'm going to start a timer right
33 exactly.
Yeah. Hold on. Just timer. Will it work that way?
Are you talking to your watch?
Yeah, I have a Android watch.
Okay.
Timer.
Everyone listening's just like, wow, riveting.
No, I want to. Yeah, well, fuck it. I was just going to try and start a stopwatch. Stopwatch is the thing I want, not a timer. But I'm curious because I'm guessing 33. By the time I actually get this timer started, I'll say 32 minutes. She'll be home. If I can. Holy crap. How hard is it to find the clock app on your phone? Get your poop in a group, Adam. Which is the polite way to say get your shit together.
She could have just said that, I guess.
There we go.
You're doing great. Yeah. You're doing great.
Okay. So, I've survived. The end result to your question was I've survived this week. And my other business, what I do is like very events based, and events are coming back, and it's been like the growth and the potential and all the conversations they're very, very encouraging. So I feel awesome. Like I'm in a good place right now. I see light at the end of the tunnel, even if it's still dark where I'm standing. I see light at the end of the tunnel, and I think as a society, we're getting there. For my business, I'm getting there. And as a human being, I might actually
tag along.
make it. Yeah, might actually keep up. So here we are.
Well, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I know that it was rough, so I'm glad that you kind of make it through. And like I said, too, especially with the kids, when things happen, especially at their age, they're so resilient. And sometimes, not that they don't know what's going on, they know something's going on, but like, they don't, like, you don't want them taking on that stress. So they're just like, yeah, whatever, we'll go do our thing over here. So it's just us as parents that are always just like the ones freaking out and putting all that stress and pressure on ourselves. And like a couple episodes ago, I don't know when it was, but it's just like, all of you parents out there, like, just stop beating yourselves up. So that's what I told that. I was like, okay.
I'm trying to practice what we preach kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's easier to say it than it is to do it, for sure. I get that.
Yeah. One of those easier said than done situations, but
totally. I get that.
But yeah, I mean, I'm getting through, and everybody else is getting through, and I mean, we're all gonna get there eventually, one way or the other. Kicking and screaming. Sometimes you get dragged along, but whatever gets the job done at the end of the day.
There you go. One thing I will ask you, like, I don't know how the Mother's Day went. Like, did you guys do anything for Mother's Day?
Not really. Like, the girls, I set aside a little bit of money for the girls to go get Katie some stuff.
Okay, yeah.
It was super cool. My youngest, my biological daughter, at school made a candle, like this really, really sweet candle.
Oh, cool.
And gave it to Katie for Mother's Day. And I was like, that's so awesome.
That's so sweet.
To my Katie, for those listening, my partner, not the Katie G. And I thought that was great. And then I asked her, I was like, so what did you get, like, your mom, like your actual biological mother? And she said, nothing. And I was like, so hopefully her partner, Scott, sorted that out with her. So I just thought that was one of those,
you guys can handle that.
Yeah. But I just, because she made it at school. It's not like we had any say in that or control over that. She was just so freaking proud of this thing, let me tell you. So she made this design, and then they put it around this candle, and the teacher, like, heat gunned it on to a candle. So she designed a candle.
Oh, fun. That's cute. That's
Katie.
really cute. Yeah.
And that was so awesome. And she was so happy about that. She couldn't stop smiling all freaking day. And the girl, we got her flowers for Mother's Day at the local flower shop here, Flowers in Bloom, just down the street from us. That lady, thank God for her, because I have no fucking idea about flowers and all that shit. But like, I took the two girls in there, and her and the girls went over to the cooler where all the flowers were, and they started like picking out flowers. And the girls were like, I want this one and this one, and
That's
and
cute.
they made this whole bouquet, and it was a hit. So
that's so awesome.
So shout out to Angela over at Flowers in Bloom, because she really hooked us up. And what's great about that place vis-a-vis where I live is I take the girls, we just literally walk across the street, and there's this super cool flower shop with like the nicest lady running it. And
that's awesome.
So yeah, it was very helpful to have that, as opposed to like walking into like one of those, like, why can you have a corporate flower shop? But I've been to flower shops where like they're like, what do you want? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. I'm like, well, we have this package and this package. And I'm like, I need pretty flowers. Like, I don't fucking know.
You're like, listen, I'm not the person. I come here because you're the professional. So you tell me what I need.
Yeah. And I do know that certain colors of certain flowers mean certain things. So
is that for like roses, or is that for
all flowers?
Other flowers?
Roses, like red means love, pink means friendship, or yellow means friendship, and pink means...
I have no idea.
I fucking forget. But anyway, I don't know what they all mean, but I know that they mean something. And so sometimes I've had to go in and be like, this person is this to me.
Yeah.
Make a bouquet that says that, the whatever the meaning behind. So if in case they Google the flower and the color, it's like, oh my God, they gave me the flower of fuck you, Like,
That's
oh no,
so
I didn't want to say fuck you
if
with
that's
flowers.
a thing, I am going to be ordering those.
Yeah, right.
It's just like a stem with no flower on it.
But also, like, and another thing I like about my Katie is that she's a little bit dark and twisty at times, and I love that. So if I get like the flower bundle we got her for Mother's Day had these like really super spiky flowers, and the girls were like, that'll be perfect for her. And I'm just like, This is awesome.
You're right.
Yeah, like it was perfect. They knew. And, if they had black roses, the girls would have chose them, So
I'd be into that too. That's cool.
For that bouquet, it was whatever the girls chose was what happened. So it was great. I gave up control right away. So that was no problem
for sure. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's nice to do just a little something.
Yeah. And she's not a girl that likes a big production done about her usually. So it also was her birthday on the 30th. So, or maybe that's when we did the flowers. Did we do the flowers for that?
Yeah. I have no idea.
Because it was the week before. It's all. And listen, I've had a week, so it's kind of all blurred together.
Yeah, so, mine was more so filled with just driving around. So my intent was to deliver some merch to your family, and that just didn't end up working out. But I went over to my dad's because he went up to Toronto recently and he had a couple things he wanted me to bring up for my sister. And so I stopped in there. And of course, you don't stop in and just okay, bye. You kind of sit and, chat for a bit and visit for a little minute. And then he also, the shirt that I'm wearing for the ones that are just listening is a Toronto Maple Leafs t-shirt that my dad purchased for me. So thank you, Father.
Anyway,
moving on. Yeah. Well, how are the Canadians doing? Anyway, so
I live in Winnipeg. Why do you keep bringing up I like the Habs a lot. I really do, and they're probably my favorite.
Because you're always a Habs fan.
But I haven't. But yeah, if you want to mock me, mock Winnipeg. Because now we're sitting around here with our fucking thumbs up our butts.
I don't really pay attention because I never really watch West Coast teams because they were always on so late. So I never really watched any of them.
And here's the other thing about what you just said is that they teach in schools, all about the geography of Canada and blah, blah, blah. And in Nova Scotia.
Well, central though, right? I know they're central. Manitoba, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you go ahead.
Literally, Winnipeg is 60 kilometers away from the dead center of the country. Ontario is technically in the east. The dead center of this country is in the province of Manitoba. So everything east of that is the east, and anything west of that is the west. Manitoba is the center of this country. And when I moved here in 2014, also never really considered that. I've always considered Manitoba to be the west. Ontario, Quebec are center. The Atlantic provinces are east, and
anything from
Manitoba, to the left of the map.
Yeah.
Anything west of Manitoba and west equals the West. Mm-hmm. And I moved here and I have been corrected so many freaking times. Well, when I first moved here, I was corrected so many times that I have now put it into my vernacular that we are the center of the country. Winnipeggers do tend to think that the country revolves around here when the rest of the country thinks it revolves around Toronto. And
wow, that is fair. Yeah. Anyway, my whole point is just that I don't watch the games. So I would never roast because I have no idea what's going on because I don't know anything about the team. So that's also fine. Anyways, the whole point was that my Sunday of Mother's Day was just driving around. So I ended up going up to my mom's and gave them some merch and they were very excited. Laura was thrilled to finally get her mug. And I gave Mom and Nanny a mug as well. So anyway, they were very excited to get those. For whatever reason, they wanted our stupid faces on them. They're like, I want the one with your faces. I was like, why?
I know, because you were when I was designing them up, you're like, I don't know, I just want the logo. Just send me the ones with the logo.
I personally want the logo.
And then I was
don't want my face.
But these Bitmoji ones are really cool. And you were like, no, I just want the logo, and I want it to be little on my shirt. And then when other people are asking for it, they're like, I want the Bitmoji. It's
I know. I think it's because if I'm personally wanting to buy the merch, I just want I've got the mug that's just our logo. I want that.
Yeah,
I don't want my stupid face.
You come with your own face built in. Other people want to have that. So
apparently, for whatever reason.
I want to do, I want to get permission from your kiddo to use those drawings that she did for us a couple of years ago.
Oh,
when we first started the podcast.
Yeah.
I want to get permission to use those and make mugs with on one side it's me and your faces that she drew, and on the other side is the PaRANTing logo. That's what I want.
Sure. She would totally be down with that. And I'm sure she would make us new ones, updated ones too, because she's
that'd be dope.
Still very artsy. So I'm sure I'm sure she would do that. She's also designing a new tattoo for me as well. So whatever she draws, I'm getting as a tattoo. So I'm like, here's my ideas of stuff that I want. And she kind of
that's
drew
putting
some
your
stuff
body
out
on the
for me.
line. Now that has to earn you some serious stepmom points.
Yeah, right. Well, because she really wants to get a tattoo as well, which doesn't really probably go over well with literally anyone else in the family. But Rod and I both have tattoos and whatever. And so I was like, because she's like, can I like soon? I'm like, she's turning 16 in the summer. And I'm like, if you think of something that you really want and draw it out or whatever, give it another year. If you still like it and you still want it, then we can talk about it, because you want to really make sure that you want to get it.
We've talked on this a couple episodes ago. We talked about alcohol and your kids. I think we also recently, last episode or the episode before or whatever, we talked about drugs and your children.
Yeah.
And how you have those conversations and all that. So now I guess the natural evolution of that, given what you just said, is like, how young is too young to get a tattoo? Because your body goes through a lot of changes from ages 16 to 21. So, you get a tattoo when you're 18, and by the time you're 30, does it still look the same? Like, it's... that's
my concern is like not about that. My concern is like getting something stupid that you're going to regret getting.
And I get that, and that's a whole other argument too. But like, how young is too young to get a tattoo?
I think it's very situational depending on the kid, because you could have, I know people who are my age who I wouldn't trust to look after anything. So like, you know what I mean? Like, it depends on the person. So, and their maturity, and kind of like, if they really understand what it is that they're doing, and that it's like forever, it's one of those, as long as you can have that like conversation. But then it also, when you're co-parenting, you can't just be like, yeah, I'll sign off on a piece of paper and like whatever. Cause I think you have to be 18. Like, it's been forever. So I've been getting tattoos for years, so I don't know anymore. But I think at 16
I'm
you
gonna
could
get a tattoo. I'll be 40 next year, and I still haven't got one.
Yeah, I have quite a few. So but I do what I've been doing, like what I think works for me, which is what I'm trying to like impress upon. Like, the oldest has no interest in having a tattoo, as far as I'm aware. The youngest for sure is interested, because she's definitely more in that, like I said, artsy. She draws on herself all the time. She's always like drawing stuff on her. So like, she's definitely interested. And my only thing is that it's like placement is a big deal, and what it is that you're getting is a big deal. So right. I think having that open conversation about, what you're going to get and where you would get it, and making sure you're going to a place that's, reputable, that's clean. Like, there's all of these other factors rather than just like your age. It's just like, they really need to understand. And then you as the parent, for me, obviously I've been getting tattoos for a long time, so I have the experience. If you have a kid that just comes to you out of the blue and is like, I want a tattoo, and you're like, squeaky clean, have nothing on your body, you'd be like, no. Would be my initial like thought, like, that's not happening.
Yeah.
But it's education like anything else. You kind of provide the information, but if they're that young, and you have to like sign permission, and obviously co-parenting, like I said, everyone would have to be on board for that. It's not like going to get your ears pierced, right? It's kind of another, even though I still think that's a required, like, I'm doing this to my child or our child type discussion. But yeah, I think I don't know, like too young would be like, I think you have to be, in my brain, I'm like 16 minimum you have to be, or yeah, minimum. So like, at least if you're 16 and up, but like anything below that, I think probably not.
Okay. So 16, given the right conditions, is where you sit.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like 18 is the minimum. Like, because then if you can vote, you can decide on life altering, skin drawings, basically, because these things are now with you forever. So once you're 18 and you have because you're being trusted by society to decide the future of our country, I think you should be allowed to get a tattoo and decide whatever that is. I think, like you said, there would be some exceptions that I would consider, but for me, if my kids, like, I think I would have to institute 18. You make your own decisions at 18, all good. It's different, like alcohol and all that. Like when we talked about alcohol, I was kind of like, as long as they're doing it safe and you're in a safe environment, and there's, I know, I can help you with like how much you drink, how not to drink, like teaching you basic skills like that I think are, socially important, but that's not permanent. You get drunk in 24 hours, that's gone from your system. You get a tattoo, that is not gone from your system. Literally ever.
Like it's like your decisions you make though, or I don't know. Like I said, it's very situational and like how you feel and your experience too. Like I said, I have lots of experience getting tattoos. And so I, have my own thoughts about it. And that's why I wouldn't be fully opposed to it. If it was, depending on what it was, where it was going, the thought kind of process behind it. Not that every tattoo has to have like a huge, deep meaning to it. It's just.
But if you're that young, I feel like it would.
Right.
That's the
and
thing.
so,
like,
but
you're
you
not
have
just
to like.
I got a happy face because I was drunk and it was whimsical, So like I got a happy that happens. I know a buddy who has a ween tattoo on his ass because he was hammered at one night.
Yeah, well, my child would not be hammered going to get a tattoo. It would be something that would be planned.
But that's the kind of state of mind that some people have when they get tattoos, because it's like they don't care. They like tattoos. They got it on a whim, and now it's a story, right? Which is fine.
But if they're an adult, they make their own decision. I can control you when you're in my house. Sure.
Yeah, so when
you're
you're
living in my house and need my permission, yeah. I'm just saying, like, if she came to me and was like, I've designed this cool thing, like my initial instinct, and I already told her this, was because we've talked about it, and I don't think her mom's super on board with it, which I totally understand, but I'm like, okay, have something in mind, design it, draw it out, whatever it is that you want, and then hang on to it for an entire year, a whole year. A year from now, look at that tattoo and be like, if that was on my body, would I still like it? And then it's at that point you're like, okay, well then I think that's a long enough time to do that. And that's what I do every single time with my tattoos. I'm the same way. I'll think of something I want, kind of the design, where I want to put it, and then I'll give it like a year, and then I'll go get it. But I'm also like, at this point, because I'm not like diagnosed OCD, I'm just very particular. And when it comes to things, so all of my tattoos, like the ones I have on my arms, so if you're, on the video, you can see I have like tattoos on my arms on the inside. All of them, all the tattoos I have in here, they size-wise and location match on each side. So it's perfectly like balanced. And then I have the other tattoos like on the center of my neck. So like they're all like very specifically placed somewhere. So I'm like,
you're going for symmetry.
Yeah. And I almost like, when I think about where I'm getting a tattoo, I'm like, okay, well, I need a second one to balance that one out. So it's almost like a two for every time. It's very expensive.
That's good for your tattoo artist.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
it's kind of fun because I know some people who are like, I only tattoo my right arm. Like that's their whole thing. And so now, like, I got a buddy who's like from his knuckles all the way up to like right into his shoulder here is all tattooed, but that's the only part of his body he's tattooed. That's it. And I'm like, that's an interesting choice. But everybody's like, they got that little different thing.
Yeah, totally.
I have other friends that are, the tattoos from the neck all the way like to the waist, right? They're just like their whole upper body is just, it's not called a sleeve when it's your torso, but like, you know what I mean? Like there's no free space.
Yeah.
And
so exactly.
It's completely up to the individual. But I do think that when it comes to the children, somebody think of the children. I really think that because that is such a permanent decision that I think when you're 18, you make that decision on your own. Like I would never. I know parents who are like you're not getting a tattoo till you're 32. Like they're just like really like weird about that.
Yeah.
But those are also the parents who are like, I'm going to lock you in your room till you're 30 so you can't date, Like that's there's that old school mentality, but I think a lot of people, of our generation who are parents are coming around on that, you do whatever it is that you want to do. As long, and they try really hard not to let them do stupid shit, but you
provide some guidance even at an in quotes adult age of 18. I was a fucking idiot, so like I wouldn't trust myself.
But that's the thing.
But like at that point,
I was stupid until I was 30.
Yeah.
So like who let me make fucking adult decisions when it fucking blows my mind.
It's just it doesn't matter what it is. Like I think that you give them like a certain amount of freedom with some things. And then other things, like you said, if it comes to the tattoos, you're like, you know what, when you're not like, when you're an adult, you do whatever you want, if that's what you want to do. But you kind of like, especially when it comes to this, because I have the experience and I have thoughts on it, I will express those and share those with the kids. So I think that if the only way that I think that we would let, Jill like get a tattoo is if she was like really adamant about it. If she was like, I really want to get this for whatever reason.
Right.
And if it, we talked about it and we were comfortable with it, I think we would go forward with it. But I think if she doesn't really press it, then like she can just wait until she's 18. I mean, it's only 2 years from now. So,
and like the other thing is, make your own money, set it aside, create a fund, teach them about that kind of thing.
Oh, they're already doing that.
But make the tattoo like, when you're 18, save up a bunch of money. When you're 18, you can get a whole sleeve done all at once. No, don't teach them that.
No, don't do that. You would no.
Yeah, as soon as you turn 18, it's like permanent nothing. I know this one guy. He got some really shitty tattoos, and so like on his forearm, from basically his wrist to almost his elbow, is just black all the way around because he went and got a cover up because his tattoos that he got were so stupid and he fucking hated them. And I'm just like, oh, see, then that would be me. I would get a tattoo and be like, oh, that was dumb. Why would I do that? That was dumb.
Well, it depends. I mean, I guess if you know that about yourself, it's probably why you're almost 40 and do not have a tattoo.
Well, the other side of it is like they are fucking expensive, and I know it's a habit that if I fucking start it, I'm an all or nothing kind of guy, and I know that like as soon as I get a tattoo, I'm gonna want 7 more tattoos that week.
Yes,
and it's just gonna be a thing. And so it also is learning a little bit about Mark Adam is that I have this petrifying fear of needles. For no fucking reason. I totally understand it's irrational. I get it. But my daughter held my hand when I got my fucking vax. When I got vaxxed. So like,
that's cute.
Well, yeah, you say it's cute, but put that into a fucking tattoo situation. Is my 9.5-year-old going to come hold my hand?
Yeah, like I think that maybe they're not for you.
but I like what's weird is my brain. Like I know it's done through needles and stuff. I know it's done through needles, but I don't feel like needles are like I don't associate tattoos with needles. Like I would go there and be like,
when you get it, it doesn't look like a needle that they're stabbing into. You know what I mean? It's like a little thing.
That's exactly it. And I think
it doesn't
maybe
look like
it's just a perception thing in my head because I have to turn my head when people jab needles into people on TV.
Yeah, I can't do that. I don't like that either.
But like, we'll be watching like New Amsterdam or some fucking hospital show and and I'll be like, oh shit. And then Katie will be like looking at me and I'm like, is it over? She'll be like, it's over now, and so then I can look back but like,
I get that.
I don't know why. It doesn't make any fucking sense. I don't know where the hell that came from.
A lot of people have that same fear though. It's a very common thing.
I have 2 irrational fears that I know of. I'm sure I have others, but I haven't been put in a situation where that's been a thing. So, but like needles for no fucking reason, and earwigs is the other one.
Oh,
but I know what happened with the earwigs thing. When I was camping as a kid, when the tent poles were those giant metal hollow things.
Oh God, yeah.
They weren't these like pull apart with like a rope in the middle, snap together, like
or the
like
pop up ones they have these days.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like tents weighed more than me, and so you put a giant pile of metal pipes down, and they were away. And the first time we went out one year, I don't know if I was 6 or 7 or whatever, but I pulled all the pipes out, and as I did, they dumped out on me just a bunch of earwigs all over me.
Oh my God. No, thank you. Absolutely not.
Yeah. So I've been no thank you to earwigs ever since. And it's funny. I would rather fight a bear than handle a pod of earwigs. It's fucked. And I know it makes no sense. I know that.
Yeah. For you though, it does because it's a situational thing where something happened to you to make you feel that way. Like my irrational fear is like a fear of heights. Like I can't even watching on TV. And I know that's a very common one too. Like watching when they do the pan overs of fucking building in a movie or something. I'm like, why did I have to do that? Like I have to look away. My knees tingle. Like that's how bad it is. Like it makes me like physically react to be like, my knees will go like numb almost. I'm like, what is wrong with me?
My Katie hates heights too. Like literally a step ladder is too high.
Yeah.
Like she is a nope on heights.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm a big nope on heights too. And there's like a lot of things that I've been wanting to try too, that like the zip lining, like that looks so fun. Like to strap yourself in.
Fun. I love it.
Like that sounds so fun, but I'm like, my other fear is that I would go and try and do it and I would like pass out from fear of being up high. And then I'd just be like flailing around on this thing. Like it just, I don't know what's wrong with me about, like, I
went ziplining a couple of times and it
looks so fun.
Fucking fun. And some of them are scary if you're not scared of heights because they're so far and you pick up so much speed like that you're like, oh my God, I'm going to die. But when you get to the other side, you're like, okay, because like obviously like the ropes have a bit of a bend, so when you come, you almost automatically slow down.
Yeah.
Although you have to be paying attention, and there's ways to brake and stuff. You don't ever want to fucking grab the.
No, you're not going to grab the.
There's been some videos that there was one where this dude he had a carabiner. It wasn't he didn't have like a zip line thing. And he was just fucking around, and he's like, oh shit, and he's like, he can't stop because he's going like, and he's like, I'm gonna die basically. And I saw the video, and I was like, oh my God, this guy's gonna die for sure because the carabiner's rubbing against that cable, like it started to wear out the carabiner. It was like smoking and shit, and I was like, oh my God, that's gonna break. He's gonna fall.
That's terrifying.
Plummet to his death. And I'm gonna find the video, and I'm gonna send it to you and just make you watch it.
See, I hate that. So, like, the funny thing is, like, everyone has, I think, their own irrational, or like they're rationalizing your own brain, like for some reason. Like, there's nothing that ever happened to me to make me scared of heights. I just don't like being up high because, like I said, I physically have a reaction where I think like if I was in a situation where I was like dangling over something and I would plummet to my death if I didn't hang on, my fear would just take over my body and I would just like fall because like I wouldn't be able to like hold myself. Like it's a genuine fear that I have. But like another thing is like for some people is like specifically when it comes to insects, but spiders. So I don't have a problem with spiders.
Katie, heights and spiders, those are her too. And I have two. It's needles and earwigs.
Right.
I feel like everybody has like at least two things that they're irrationally afraid of for no reason.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's fair. And like, so Rod's brother, his youngest brother, he's like ridiculously petrified of spiders. Like in the sense of like where I can't even watch a movie where they pan over the height thing. It makes me like physically nauseous. He's the same way with spiders, of seeing pictures of them. So me finding that out, it's now like a battle between the two of us where we're just like sending each other horrible shit all the time. Like I'm like, there was like this giant spider outside like couple summers ago. And like you could see the hair on it. Like that's how big it was. It was a big fucker. And I got real close and I took a picture and I sent it to him. And I was like, this is our new pet, Fluffy. Like, it was just...
If I did that to Katie, she would move out.
Right. And so I'm like, I can do that because it's Rod's brother. So I'm like, fuck you. It's funny. But if like that was Rod that hated them, then I'm sure it would probably create some issues. But
Rod's brother's never visiting your house again.
Yeah. It's just one of those things that you kind of latch onto. I think that's like, if they've got siblings, you kind of you find one that you kind of treat as if they're your brother. So that's kind of what our relationship is. It's just us chirping the shit out of each other and being assholes. Like that's kind of the vibe, which I appreciate because, and Rod appreciates because it takes the heat off of him for a little while. I like,
He's like, hey, as long as she's distracted.
Exactly. It's 100%. She's like, she's bugging somebody else. Perfect.
Yeah, she's not fucking with me right now, so who gives a shit?
Pretty much.
So, yeah, I get it. That's fine.
Blessed.
That's funny. So that's actually really funny. So like, okay, so what were your things? You hate heights, and what was the other thing?
So heights are my thing. I mean, I don't like needles either. Like I can't, if I went to go get a needle, I don't watch because I can't do that. I don't know if I probably do have a second one that I'm not thinking about right now, but heights is my number one. Like heights, I cannot do. Like that is a thing that's just it's never going to happen. I'd like literally just panic because I thought I saw some sort of spider, and that maybe I am scared of spiders. I was just like, when they're spiders, I'm cool with if they're away from me. If you start coming into my space, we're going to have a problem. That's what I don't like. You stay outside or over in that cobweb.
We used to have our room in like the basement area of our house, but like it's kind of where spiders like to hang out. And she hasn't said as much, but I feel like my Katie, now our bedroom is on the top floor. We moved our bedroom situation, and she had surgery and needed to be near the bathroom and stuff. But now our room is just there. She's been recovered for 6 months or something, and like
we're not going back there.
Yeah. Well, and I think I have this sneaking suspicion it's because of the spiders. So.
Yeah. That if she's terrified of them, I would totally get that. Yeah. I don't even know. I don't know if I have a second one. I'm sure I do. I'll let you know. You know what? Well, I'll put that in the thing for this episode too. If you guys have irrational fears, let us know because I want to know what they are.
So
or Katie, same ones.
My Katie's are heights like you and spiders. And I'm needles and earwigs. And the American people, I mean, I think they're scared of like affordable healthcare and black people. Like they have a racism problem. And I think it's based in fear. And they got like they hate anything to do with socialized anything, including, you know, affordable healthcare and helping people live. So those are the main fears down there. And you know, Canadians were very, very afraid of offending people. You know, that's Canada's thing.
Yeah.
So we all have our fears that make no sense.
No, we sure do. And those are the things, I think there's probably some that you pass on to like one thing I will say, this is not like an irrational fear. It's just like a thing that I don't like. I don't like feet. I don't I'm not going to like see a foot and be like, oh my God, that's crazy. It's just more of, I don't like people touching my feet. I don't want your feet near me. Like, don't put your feet on me. Like, it's that kind of a thing. And I feel like
that's more of a like, a dislike or disgust. That's not a fear.
No, but that's what I guess that's why I said it's not an irrational fear thing. But it's what I was getting. The point of that was that I was going to say sometimes that you have these irrational fears that you have that you may inadvertently pass on to your kids because they know that you're scared of it. So then they could then be scared of it for that reason. So that's why the reason I bring that up is because both of the kids hate feet. And I feel like it's my fault. Yeah. I think so. Like, I think because it's like, I don't want people touching my feet. I don't, yeah. And I think there's one thing I haven't told Dad this, but if he's listening to this, I'm letting you know this, Timothy. So one of this is not the reason why, but one of the big things when I was a kid, my dad used to tickle me, but he used to grab like the top of my knee and squeeze. And he's a lot bigger than me. And so I was like, 80 pounds soaking wet. So like he would do these kinds of things.
33 minutes. She's home.
Oh, is she here?
33 minutes. So
good job.
Wait for it.
Are we waiting?
Wait for it. Wait for it. Oh, no, she has to pee. She ran upstairs. All good.
Okay, there you go. Anyway, let's finish the story real quickly.
Yeah.
So, because I want Dad to hear this, and I'm not going to tell you to your face because this is way more fun. If you have to listen to our podcast, I'll let you know. So, but he used to also grab like me by the ankle and tickle my feet, and I couldn't move. Like I would be flailing around and whatever, and he would do that, and I don't know if that's the reason why, but it definitely didn't help. Like it was, but I mean, I also just have ticklish feet. But just saying, Dad, you traumatized me for life. Just kidding. I love you.
Well, and I tickle the crap out of my kids, but there's the moment where they're like, stop, and then it's over. Like when they yell stop, it's done. And
he was the same way. It was just one of those things that like you think about. I'm like, oh, I remember Dad used to do that and I would fucking hate it.
Yeah, but like my kids, like sometimes they'll be like, not the feet, and then it's like as long as you don't tickle their feet, they're totally fine to be tickled for 20 minutes. But like other times, it's like not the neck, like when you get like right in here.
Yeah.
I used to have an off switch, like, and so Doug was actually the worst at that. He used to tickle the shit out of my neck, but like apparently, like if I was literally about to cross over a bed of nails and you grab my neck, I would curl up in a ball and just fall on the nails. Like I just, like I had no muscle control.
Yeah.
When that was happening, and
I feel like I've seen that. I feel like I've seen that happen.
Yeah. So my kids are both the exact same way. They're both like that. If I like just touch their neck, like just ding, they just think.
Yeah. The whole body just like gives out.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just so funny.
That is really good.
But I hope I'm not traumatizing them now that you're saying that. I
No,
want them to,
it's definitely
I
not
want them to
true.
think of it as like an enjoyable experience. I don't want them to be
Yeah.
like, now I hate feet. Thanks, Dad.
Well, that's why I prefaced it with, I'm sure it's not the reason why, but I do think about that where I'm like, I remember Dad used to do that to me, and it was fine. Like, it's, I'm fine. I drink for a living. It's totally fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Wait, you drink for a living? I drank
Yeah.
for a living for 21 years.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's how I cope with everything.
Yeah. Well, I literally made it my living
That's true. You actually got paid for it, though. I paid
for
to go
21
get
years.
It, so.
Yeah, you're not doing it for a living. You're doing it in order to live.
Well, I have a full-time job to pay for my alcohol problem. So it's a little, I'm looking to, just doubling up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't open the door. I'm very confused. Maybe she hears me talking to you and she's like, "Oh, I better not interrupt." Which would make me so happy. I'm like, "Oh, we're learning and growing." And
you know to leave me alone. That's so sweet.
Well, I don't want to put it that way.
I'm joking.
I don't want it to be that way.
I do.
But yeah. Yeah, now she's chasing the cat. I can hear her yelling for the cat. So I think we're in the clear.
Okay, good.
Time to refill my tea, everybody.
So where are we at for time here? How long have we been doing this?
We better
45
do the
years?
top tweets, actually.
Well, I was just going to say, because you had a topic that you wanted to talk about, but we got so sidetracked.
We don't have time for that. That'll be a next week problem.
Exactly. Okay. No, that's good. Because I wasn't sure what our time was at. I'm like, we didn't talk
I come
about
into
that.
these episodes with an idea of what I want to talk about, and so do you, I think. And then we don't.
And then we just do something else entirely.
I mean, I'm actually kind of proud of us over the last 3 weeks, the 3 previous episodes. We actually had a topic we wanted to talk about, and we talked about it. Like, it was
last week we had 3 and we got all 3. So we nailed it last week. So good for us.
fucking A.
Good job, us.
Yeah, we're doing it. And
We're
doing
learning,
it well.
sort of, kind of, maybe.
But the new way that we're recording these shows, it's kind of fun because I can't even accidentally see the top tweets, so they're fun for me.
Yeah.
So now you're bringing them up. I'm
just gonna do them, and then you can in post. You'll see them eventually, but you didn't even see them, which is great.
I love it. I love not being able to see them until we go to do it. So where's tweet number 1? I'm just gonna have it ready. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Tweet number 1 is from @Frankie Cookney. I've been in a relationship with this guy for 2 years, and recently I asked him if he loved me, and he was a bit evasive. I tell him that I love him every day, but he's never said it back. I feel like I do a lot for him, so I don't know. Am I being unreasonable? Oh, I should add that I am a 35-year-old female, and he's a 2-year-old male.
Yeah. Yeah, kids are just
You're like, love you. They're like, yeah, anyway, snack.
Yeah. Whip out the boob, lady. It's food time. That's for the breastfeeders out there. Hashtag normalize it.
Agreed.
All
Okay.
right. I like that one. That's a good one.
I read it because I actually was really invested in it. I was like, oh, what happened? What's the gossip here? And then it was like, oh, that's actually good.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're a mom.
We'll leave that one up on the screen a lot longer when we do the edit for it, because I feel like people will need the time to read along.
Absolutely. It's really good. All right. This one's a little bit shorter. This is a shorter one. This one just gave me giggles, of course. So this one's from @Kevin the Dad. Parenting is like a circus. Sometimes you're the ringmaster, but most of the time you're the clown.
It's
very accurate.
Yeah. I mean, most days I feel like both simultaneously. So, and I mean, I'm of the camp where I'm the clown of my own volition. Like, I feel like it's my own choice to be the clown,
Yes.
So that's it's my own choice to be that. But I lean into it pretty hard. Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly. Sometimes you just got to embrace it. You're like, this is just who I am. So that's just how it is.
I do feel bad because Katie, I feel like she is the ringleader most of the time, and she doesn't always want to be the ringleader. Sometimes she wants to be the clown, but I'm busy being the clown. So she's
fair.
just like,
there can't be
fucking
two
idiots.
of you.
Like, yeah.
Right? Yeah. I get that.
Yeah.
That's one of those things you just like, you kind of have to call dibs on it. You're like, dibs. I call dibs. I pick clown.
Yeah.
You're the mature one, the responsible one. I pick clown.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm here for it. Okay, last top tweet is from @dadscaped, which I also like this. This one I think that you'll really like. Pros and cons of making kids. Pros, making. Cons, kids. Yes.
Can confirm.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Yep.
Absolutely. And it's funny because we were talking about like, you know, how you're uncomfortable. Like, it's not a fear, but I don't like feet. And I'm like, I feel that way about kids. I just,
Yeah.
I'm not scared of kids, but I don't want them to come near me. I just, you know, my kids,
especially
is
other kids. I don't want anyone's other kids.
My
coming around
kids
me.
is different. Like they can come around and I love them and da da da.
Yeah.
But you know, other people's kids, I just no.
There you go.
Now.
Rod just opened a beer.
I heard that, yeah. I clocked it and I perked right up. But,
yeah, you're like,
oh. Sounds like fun over there. But then again, it's Nova Scotia. It's always fun. But I forget what I was talking about.
you're not afraid of kids and you just don't like other people's kids.
Yeah. I mean, there's obviously exceptions. I have a couple of friends, like there's my two good friends of mine just had a baby, and it's not even a whole person yet. Like it's just a sack of skin.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's like a milk absorbing skin sack, and so
trying to keep it alive at this point, right?
Yeah, that's in you know, this little football shaped burden, and but it's fine. But there's one my friend Jason, his kid. The fucking cutest kid. And, you know, every parent's like, my kid is the cutest kid. And they think that. And they're just like, my kid is the cutest kid. Mm-hmm. My kid, like Amelia, when she was little, was adorable. And if you argued against that, I would be very confused. Because, I mean, you know, everyone has their own preferences. But she was like objectively fucking adorable. If
you don't believe us, /Adam, there is a little mini podcast that we almost started. It was she named it the Together Podcast. There is an episode. So if you go look for that on any of the platforms.
It's on our YouTube. Yeah. I'll put the link. I'll put the link.
Okay, link that one. The Together Podcast.
It'll be like link in bio. Yeah, write that down.
Yeah. Okay. I got it. Write it down.
And I'll put the link in to link you back to that. So so that was adorable. Yeah, she's an adorable kid. So I just want you to understand that, not that I'm bragging, although I'm a little bragging.
Brag. It's okay.
But the reason I'm saying it is because when I say that my friend Jason's kid could possibly be cuter than my kid at the same age, I need you to understand what I'm saying. How adorable this frickin' kid is. I can't. Every time I see her, I'm just like, you're so fucking cute. Like, I will, like, what do you want? Do you want candy? Do you want money? What do you want? Just take it. Go away. Like,
take everything I have. You're so adorable.
Like, I just want you to understand when I say that I can't over exaggerate is that even a word? I can't exaggerate enough how adorable this kid is. So cute. Anyway,
they make them cute so that you don't, like throw them off of things.
Well, yeah. It's literally a defense mechanism. Children are adorable so you don't drown them. That's why it is a defense mechanism. Because they test
you, and they will test you, and they'll continue to test you.
Absolutely. They will push you to your
and then
limit.
At some point when they're too old, you're like, well, I can't do anything now because then the police will get called. So here we go.
Yeah. Exactly.
Anyway, check out that episode. Exactly. Anyway, exactly.
Now, if I can get my kids to stop saying Pacifically, and because
I say that on purpose.
Yeah,
to be Pacific.
But that's I know you're doing it to be just an asshole because you're an adult. But these kids, that's like, I'm like, that's not the word. Like when you know how to say it right, then you can abuse it all you want. But until you get it right, do it right.
That is not how you say it. That's fair.
In order to fuck around, you have to know how the thing works, right? With computers, you can't just start coding. You have to understand what the code means. You have to learn what the code is about, and then you can start like fucking around with code. It's the same thing with language.
My mind immediately went to the third top tweet. If you start fucking around, you got to know what what you're doing, because if you don't, then kids. So
yeah, if you start making without knowing the kids part, then you're gonna make kids, and then you have the pros and the cons, and you're fucked.
Well,
Anyway,
on that note,
thank you for joining us here on the PaRANTing podcast for another week.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah. Why is that people's go-to make fun of radio voice? Because those people's voices actually exist in real life.
Because they do. It's like an over-exaggerated version of what they do. So there's like,
But it's like, but is it over-exaggerated? Have you ever listened to a baseball broadcast from anywhere in the U.S.?
Yes.
It's always the full count there, and it's got the slider coming in underneath. He swings for it out, he misses. All right, well, we're going to head off to the advertisements right now while this guy picks his nose for 3 minutes, because baseball is real slow.
I feel like if we started talking like that, this would not go very far at all. Everyone would be like, what the actual fuck? I'm out of here.
Honest to God, yeah.
And but I would also be
I wouldn't listen to that.
I wouldn't listen to that shit.
Maybe that's another reason I fucking hate baseball. And like,
maybe.
Because I find like baseball's just really slow. It's very, very hard for me to give a shit. They play 162 games a year, which is way too fucking many. And it's just everything's dragged on through a baseball game. And then on top of that, you got those announcers being like, so last week in the game, because they're trying to fill.
They have like the stats for everything. And that is one of the things. Like they have so many stats for the most random things because they have to talk about something. They have
to talk about something for the fucking 5 minutes between each pitch.
I love watching it. Yeah, I love it.
I understand, like, and I like the people who like baseball are the same target market that people are fucking looking for NASCAR, because like it's just that's another left turn, and they just keep going in circles. And like I understand that there's an appeal to it, and I don't want to make fun of those people or those sports, but the people who are like upset with me for not liking them, it drives me nuts. But I turn around and I'm like, I'm a huge soccer fan. And I totally get a lot of people are just like, well, soccer's so boring. There's nothing going on. And I fucking totally disagree. Yeah. But if that's your opinion, that's your opinion. But don't tell me soccer's boring and then turn around and try and sell me to baseball. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
I feel like that's maybe because I don't ever have like these arguments with people about sports stuff, because everyone likes their own thing. Like you enjoy, like I enjoy like baseball and hockey, and like that's kind of it. But I've really recently gotten into like lacrosse and all that other stuff because they have like a local team here in Halifax, which is fun. But anyway, totally off topic and off brand, well, not off brand, off topic, which is our brand. But like before I get into like another
off topic, which is our brand. Yeah,
off topic is our brand. Yeah, exactly. So before I get down like another rabbit hole, I'm like, what time are we at? And then also another thing.
So this week, in the coming weeks, my daughter's softball, like she plays softball.
Yay!
Because her stepfather, like her mom's partner, I think they're married. Yeah. So her stepfather, he likes baseball, and he's like the coach of the team and whatever. And so she's playing softball, and I just struggle all the time not to tell her how much it fucking sucks. Like I go and I watch and I support her and I leave.
I play softball too.
It's fucking hate it. Let's take baseball and slow it down. Like fuck off. I just no.
No, it's not at a professional level. Like it's,
Yeah, at the professional level, it sucks. Like watching
any
kids
sport. This is what I'm talking about. We could get on. This could be a table. But like any kid's sport is fucking boring because they're all a bunch of idiots that don't know what they're doing, and they're standing around a field.
There's a certain amount of that. So, but you take a sport I already don't respect, and then
it's just not for you.
Right, like it's a sport that like I just. If you like it, go nuts. But I fucking don't get it. I don't understand the appeal at all. So you take that.
I'm writing down topic for next week.
Yeah.
Angrily talk about sport things.
Yeah, that's I have another show that does that. But yeah, it's fine. I have an outlet for my anger. Don't worry.
Okay, good.
But For this week, we're done. Thank you very
Bye.
much. Appreciate you. Please check out our social medias. We are on
Yes,
Facebook,
please.
Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. We do have a Twitch channel. We're going to start doing some stuff there. We're eventually going to figure out this fucking TikTok thing, since that's apparently sticking around.
I'm scared. Anyway, yeah. And if you do go onto the YouTube, please subscribe, because
subscribe, do all of that.
it really helps us a lot, and it's gonna, we'll stop being annoying about it. So if you do watch the video, hi. Also, if you're here, there's a button somewhere down there that you can press. It just says subscribe, and we'll love you forever. So thank you. That is my PSA.
Bye, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys. Sucker sucks.
How does this thing work?